your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. Support and defend. The Constitution.
Something's coming. Something's coming. Something's coming. Something's coming. Something's coming.
Let the games begin. Come walk in my shoes. I done paid all my dues. I got something to prove. All in, nothing to lose. Right now a new day starts. Woke up my brain heart. Stand up and play my part. Like the crowd waves start. Been patient long enough. Not waiting, I'm bossing up. Life is like a toss up. I tend to triple crossed it up. We born to be giant slayers. We shine too bright to shade us or face us. We love the pressure. It's what made us.
Something's coming. Something's coming. Something's coming.
Let the games begin. I was born for this. From day one I wanted it. We come too far to quit. Ain't no stopping it. I was born for this. From day one I wanted it. We come too far to quit. Ain't no stopping it. Ain't no stopping it. Time to rise up. Time to rise up. Time to rise up.
Rise up.
Time to rise up. So let's go crazy, crazy like Prince in the 1980s. Don't play me, I'm not Brady. Too blown, you can't deflate me. Yes, ballin' is my calling. Can't box me out, I'm all in. We built from yes, all in. Top of the charts and never falling. It's time, beast mode. Put it on the line, free throws. It's Friday, I'm Debo. Take it back like repo. Got on my headphones, eyes closed in my zone. I've been down this road every time I drove it home. Then set back up again like it's 1st and 10. Only aim to win, let the games begin. I was born for this, from day one I wanted it. We come too far to quit, ain't no stopping it. I was born for this, from day one I wanted it. We come too far to quit, ain't no stopping it. Ain't no stopping it, ain't no stopping it. Ain't no stopping it. Let the games begin.
So it is to the printing press, to the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive.
Revly, Revly, Revly. Time to get up. Get up. All right, we got a few in the room. This is going to be awesome. I was up early, got a hold of the guys. They're going to be joining, staggering in as they get up and get around and can get in. You know, everyone's got things going on, kids, and we're all in different areas. So when it works out, it works out. We all planned on around 9:30, so I think everyone should be in at some point by then, maybe earlier. But no rush. I do have Woodman already in here on standby. So we'll get in, we're just going to take it easy and have a great morning. Go over some of the breaking articles as they come out. So good morning to everyone in the room. I don't even think we have any mods awake. So we'll keep an eye on that. See if I see any familiar names, which I do. I see Woodman in the chat room. All right, again, make sure you are subscribed here to the channel here at the Patriot Hour. We encourage you to think for yourself and come to your own conclusions based off all the information that we bring to you. Subscribe to everybody that you want to listen to. All your favorite channels, all your favorite articles to read. Look at D-Class. Look at anything you can get your hands on that pertains to what you're looking at. Believe none of it until you can verify it. Okay, we're going to jump right in here with Woodman. Go to this one. I don't see anyone else in yet. What is going on, brother?
Good morning, airborne, everybody. How we doing?
Good morning. I'm not going to be able to. Cool, that chat doesn't come up too much. The little transparent window does, but if I move that, it'll mess it up on the other screen. So I can't. This is a little quick one I put for us to, until I see, fluid pour, maybe Ben jump in, and then we'll go to that other screen. But yeah, I got a hold of Woodman. It worked out. How's your morning going, brother?
Pretty good. Enjoying the bean juice, of course, and my fantastic Patriot Hour mug, my official Woodman coffee mug.
Yeah.
Talking to you, my brother. Great morning so far. Bad thing is it's kind of raining here.
Yeah.
A little dreary.
Last few days,
soggy.
right? The last few days has been full of rain. No, I got my coffee mug right here up on the shelf. I haven't actually even I used it once. Those are actually the fellows. I think mine's downstairs. But yeah, you can't drink your coffee with your mask on that you had there. So
Oh yeah, I was going to
checked into the room like this. I was like, oh man. I was like, don't die. Shouldn't, folks, if you are wearing one, I ain't got no concern. You shouldn't possibly have to, when you're home, don't sit around and wear it. That's what bugs me with people in the car by themselves. The whole point of the mask is so you don't possibly, I guess what they're saying, spread what you have, or somebody that has something that you're not going to get it from them. So then there's the thing of, well, when you have it on, you get less oxygen, you start breathing in your actual exhaust out of your mouth, and that can make you tired and all these other bad things. It's bad for you. So too long, it's like when you paint, you don't wear the mask all day. You just do it, you get your crap done, you get the mask off, you get out and get fresh air. So when you're by yourself, get fresh air. You don't drive down the road with the mask on. First off, you don't look cool. You're not looking cool. I don't care if it's all flared out. You got all the flares on. You got some glue, and you put, some stars. I'm just saying. I only wear masks on Halloween. I don't even celebrate Halloween. So, but
if I see somebody wearing a mask, instantly I'm thinking that person is sick. They have a disease. Mm-hmm. I was in a store with this elderly lady, probably late 80s, early 90s, walked right up to me and said, if I could grow a beard like yours, I wouldn't have to wear a mask myself. By the way, she wasn't wearing a mask, by the way.
That's funny, though. That was a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one, folks. Your mask is about as good, your beard is about as good as these cloth masks that people are making and wearing, and it's better than nothing. Yeah. It's like the equivalent of, I'm going to wear this cloth mask to stop things coming in, is the equivalent of building a chain link fence to stop mosquitoes. And it's not very
Yeah, I get a lot of flack from everybody around here because I only wear a mask if I have to. Some stores require it.
Yeah.
How odd. Here pretty soon, if they keep it up, I'm just going to walk up and say, well, look, I'm glad you didn't want my money. I'll go somewhere else. And that's going to be my phrase from now on, I believe.
Yeah. Well, just, it's like they almost have, if we leave stores with their sovereignty and let them choose what's best for them, I don't want them dictating my medical needs or anyone else's. So we're getting to that point, it's like, you must have a mask. Well, I don't have one. Well, we sell them. It's like, you're forcing me to buy things that you have that I don't want. It's how far does this go?
How do you like living in Russia? This is your first good taste of it, man.
Well, I brought up a point. There's some things going around. I mean, I know they just recently possibly, I don't know if it's already done and gone through, but Congress passed the Patriots Act again. It's been going on since 9/11. Since 9/11, it was like the guys get this Patriot Act in to if you're deemed a terrorist in the United States, the military has the right to come arrest you, bag and tag you in the middle of the night, Woodman, put a knapsack over your head, detain you military style, knapsack you, put you onto a plane, By the time that knapsack comes off, 2 days later, you could be in some little black ops CIA holding tank over in Djibouti. And you would never know. Your family would not know. And they can actually military tribunal you as a citizen without due rights. You never, you'd be screaming for a lawyer. They'd laugh at you because this articles of paperwork says you're not entitled to a lawyer. So they can actually put you to death within days, and then luckily, possibly your family would find out in 10 to 15 years with the right to closure paperwork put in, and otherwise they'd never know. They'd just be a missing person. But that's and they put in there labeled deemed a terrorist, but they don't really have any outline of why they would deem you a terrorist. So it's kind of sketchy and scary as far as like, yeah, he's a terrorist, get him.
Yeah.
We know Obama killed 2 U.S. citizens in his tenure, 8 years, without due process. 2 citizens were, one of them had left the country here, was overseas working with terrorists, and, it was a drone strike type thing. But, some people argue, nah, he's American. He need to be tried and have his due rights. Like your Constitution doesn't leave just because you leave the country. Like it's still in tune with you. So there's fine lines there. As far as that, I believe if those people were to be brought back, put through the court system, they most likely should have been probably found guilty and put to death for treason and working with the enemy, going over to work with terrorists that literally are trying to bomb us at any chance they can get. Possibly. Again, that's proposition up from the media. I don't really know what I know, but I do know the wars that we've been engaged in around the world have created terrorists. I mean, for every one that you do kill, you're going to create a few more. The children of that dead man you're going to have angry people against the Western world, which is us. That's why they hate us, But anyway. So that just got re-signed, and people were really upset with Trump. Oh my God, Trump, he should abort this or do that. And I'm not saying he, passed it, or if he's got it across his desk yet, or if this is something that is beyond him, it's put to Congress only, or the procedures after how we got to look into it a little more. But I know it's been getting passed every year since 9/11, and sometimes things are more shoved in there, Woodman. Extra things like this. This time around, they're talking about now they can look at your search history on your computer without warrants. On every American, but I don't know if it's just broad or if you're deemed to be a terrorist now they can look at your search history. I don't know how much more magic can be about that. We already know they capture everything on all of us. I'm not saying so. Be happy. We all talk about everything we do is looked at, watched, recorded. They got it all. That's been the problem. We're hoping, even though some of these things still keep passing, Trump's working on some. That these things will be disbarred. I'm hoping that the CIA is not around anymore, after it's all said and done. JFK wanted to get rid of them. There's some of these intelligence agencies are just too old. Their roots are too old. They're corrupt from the get up, and they're never going to be fixed. Anyway, go ahead, Woodman. What were you going to say?
Well, when they put that law into effect, I was terrified. Look, not only can and Obama done this, not only can they, as soon as that happened, they could actually officially spy on anybody, anywhere, at any time, and deem them as a terrorist. It's not. There's no specific details in there. It's too vague.
Yes,
it's too vague.
Yes, yeah. They don't explain terrorists, and sometimes that's in the eyes of the beholder. It's like I look at certain people in this country as terrorists that have treasoned our Constitution, but they probably don't deem themselves a terrorist, and they might, but anyway, yeah, no. So it's very vague, and that's what we don't like, right?
That freaked me out. I was like, oh no, now there's no end. Once they got that done, there was no end.
Yeah,
and
they wanted, and they called it the war on terror. And then they were trying to make sure that we had enough activity here under Bush, then into Obama. And then it would have been under Hillary right now that we would be in this peak of like, look, folks, we've been going 10 years. We got a lot of terrorists here. The whole point was that real stupid like they did, allow this to get really, really bad in here, the illusion of it, let more of them in, let more false flags go off, more nightclub shootings, more bombings, and then to be like, folks, we've been infiltrated. We got so many terrorists in our country because of the border issue. And it's like, well, we've been yelling to close it up. Well, now that was an inhumane thing to do. But they just, wanted to pull at our heartstrings. Don't shut the border. We got people that are hungry. And then shortly after that, it would have been, no, we're in a deadly place. We need your guns. Whatever other means they were going to do. That's where we were headed, folks. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, communism, here we come. Not
Yeah,
my life. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to comply. I don't care what happens. I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Shoot me, kill me, whatever. I don't care because I'm not going to do that. I mean that wholeheartedly. We're Americans. We are free. This is the land of the home of the free and the brave, because of the brave, actually. Let's keep it that way. We don't. No, you keep all that. You keep all that junk over there. You have fun with all your, locking people down and telling them what kind of jobs they can have, when they can plant their seeds, and what they can plant, what they can't plant. Michigan's going through that right now. They're a neighboring state. In their right mind, how can they even do that? In my opinion, it's against the Constitution to do that kind of stuff. These governors have got to wake up. Some are doing a great job. Florida doing a great job. Low fatality rate. Elderly population heavy down there. They took care of everything in the way they thought was proper, and the death toll is down compared to everybody else. That should be a sign of what to do. Come on, governors, wake up a little bit. Loosen that noose a little bit. I will not be a communist country. I will not. I will not. I will not. I will not. There is no way.
Yeah, no, we don't want to. We got to keep our eyes open on that and make sure that we expose it every step of the way. I'm trying to find this intro.
Well, yeah, they're real tricky too. They're real tricky. Don't let them push. They want to divide us. That is a known fact there. They want you to sit there and divide us. Because when we're divided, then they can start controlling again. We're not into that. Let's bond together and fight that. It's worth fighting for. Your freedom. I don't care who you are. Your freedom is worth fighting for.
There it is. This one. Nope, that is 100%
right.
correct. So could be unlawful. Pelosi says Congress to investigate Trump firing of Obama holdover State Department IG Steve Linick. So it's like he's not allowed to get rid of anybody. Trump. Folks, if you look in the past, if you look at simply even, I think Bill Clinton, for example, we'll go back that far. Bill Clinton, when he came in, he was under investigation, and he fires the head of the FBI at the time when he comes in, which I believe was not Lindsey Graham, but the other one that some people are shaky of. Who's the one that recused himself? Not Graham, but I think it was Trump's one guy, and he's like, I wouldn't have picked him as my da-da-da if I knew he was going to recuse himself. But that guy,
I don't remember his name now.
That's how all these players, we all know they keep coming back. If somebody could remember, it's on the tip of my tongue. For some reason, I just can't remember his name. I got his face in my head. He basically retired. There you go, Sessions. So Jeff Sessions was ahead of the FBI in the 90s when Bill Clinton came in. There was an investigation lingering into Clinton or people around him, close to him, and boom, he gets fired, replaced with somebody, Clinton wanted in, and the investigation goes away. Now, think about Trump coming in when he did that. They set it up real quickly, got investigations going on, and anyone that Trump talked about, we're like, we should make special rules that Trump can't fire these people because, well, these people are investigating them. And that's why they did that. Like the minute he gets in, already have investigations going, and then kind of locked him to be like, well, you're fired. And it would have really put the limelight on Trump's firing people that are investigating him. I mean, what do you guys think about that? Where that's exactly what like Clinton did. But the media did not promote that as it was happening. They just, shh, He's putting the fire out. Let him put the fire out.
Yeah.
And here's Pelosi yapping out of her frickin' bag, you know. I mean, could be unlawful that he fired somebody. What was this guy looking into him? Well, he had things on Trump. You know, I don't know what she's saying here, but, you know.
Oh, well.
It's wildwood, man. You know, what do you do about that? So let's take a look at this.
I wonder if she lives with pencil neck.
A little bit of that pencil neck.
Yeah.
All right, we'll look at a few articles here, then we'll do a little jump into some Twitter dumpster diving. So House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Nancy been drinking, Democrat out of California, on Sunday said in an appearance on the CBS's Face the Nation that President Trump's firing of Obama holdover State Department Inspector General Steve Linick could be unlawful. State Department Inspector General and deep state hack Steve Linick was fired on Friday night. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo fired the anti-Trump Obama holdover. There's only a few holdovers left, folks. Linick played a role in the Fox impeachment of President Trump over Ukraine. Linick requested an urgent meeting with congressional Democrat staffers, not Republican, just the Democrat side. During the meeting, Linick handed over documents related to the Trump administration and Ukraine. The delusional speaker did, however, concede that President Trump has the right to fire federal employees, but she said his firing of Inspector General may be unlawful if it's in retaliation.
Good Lord.
Pelosi is just making it up as she goes, folks. Where was the outrage and calls for impeachment when Barack Obama fired all of George W. Bush's holdovers? Well, none of them were political, she says. Madam Speaker, late Friday, President Trump sent you a letter saying that he was going to remove the Inspector General of the State Department, Steve Linick, and there's the fourth IG to be removed in 6 weeks. Why was Linick removed? What's behind this? CBS Margaret Brennan asked Pelosi. Well, this is new to us, and typically the White House announcing something that is very unsavory. This would do it on a late Friday night. The fact is, as you indicated, it's the fourth Inspectors General. That office was created after Watergate to make sure that there was integrity in the department. Well, where was that person during the Hillary tenure for integrity? The agencies of government that were supposed to show cause, even Republicans in Congress are concerned about how they have spoken out, Pelosi said. Pelosi said Congress will be looking into the firing of Linick when asked by Margaret Brennan if he was fired, the fired IG was investigating Pompeo. Well, I mean, unsavory when you take out someone who is there to enforce to stop the waste, fraud, and abuse and other violations of the law they believe to be happening. So again, let's take a look and see. The president has the right to fire any federal employee, but the fact is that if he looks like it is in a retaliation of some way or something to that, the Attorney General, IG, Inspector General is doing, that could be unlawful. So basically, she's trying to make up stories as she goes along to act like Trump could be, doing things out of retaliation.
Stuff they would do.
Their tactic. Tactic.
Yeah.
I mean, geesh. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. So, have you guys seen Trump's latest presidential campaign ad? It's pretty devastating to the old Biden game.
Is it really?
oh yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, Biden's out. They keep him locked up in the basement. Be a good little boy.
Let me see if I can find it here.
Then his wife does speeches for him. Unreal.
Whoa. Man, I wish this would just work when I want it to work, All right, there we go. So now I'll do this. We'll go here. All right, so we can see We can see Biden here. If I were president today, I would not be taking China's word when it comes to the coronavirus. American scientists and health experts should be allowed in the country to determine how the virus started and to help contain its spread. This guy.
Oh, you think so?
Now he switched to falsely telling us that we're taking action that he has not taken and promising results that he's not delivering. People are scared, they're frightened, and their president is just exaggerating their concerns.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh, this guy. I
hope he's got some toilet paper to wipe his mouth after he talks that kind of crap.
Let me see here. Let me take a little more look at this little.
Look at who we are. I've met virtually every major world leader in my role as vice president and as foreign relations chairman over the last 30 years. And that's not hyperbole. Virtually every one. I don't know a single solitary one who would not change places with the problems the President of the United States has versus the problems they have. China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. They can't even figure out how to deal with the fact that they have this great division between the China Sea and the mountains in the west. They can't figure out how they're going to deal with the corruption that exists within the system. I mean, they're not bad folks, but guess what? They're not competition for us.
This is no time for Donald Trump's record of hysterical xenophobia.
Biden's son inked $1 billion deal with a subsidiary of the Bank of China.
Are you tired?
This is a crisis.
This is no time for Donald Trump's record of hysterical xenophobia.
Biden's son inked $1 billion deal with a subsidiary of the Bank of China.
Why are we getting nervous, man? China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. They're not bad folks.
Since the outbreak, the Communist Party has been mobilizing overseas organizations to buy local supplies and send them to China.
The growth of China is overwhelmingly in our interest.
A beautiful history we wrote together. Banning all travel will not stop it.
The president is right. That travel restriction on China, as every public health official we've talked to said, bought the country time.
Hysterical xenophobia. Dear mine.
Xenophobia.
Joe.
I complimented him on dealing with China. I'm not going nuts.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Biden's not looking good, folks. He is.
No.
Man. I'm just glad your memory's not that fried, Woodman, you know.
Oh, boy.
Jeez. You wouldn't be able to be on the show, brother.
I know it, man.
You wouldn't even know where you're at, man. It's, hey, welcome to the Patriot. Oh, yeah, it's nice to be here at the Patriot, time. It's like, no, it's the Patriot Hour. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, you know the deal. You know the deal. You know the deal. I still can't.
Hey, listen here, Jack. You know, he always calls people Jack. You know, Biden. China's not eating your lunch, man. You hear him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Vote me in, and I'll walk us out of this, epidemic here. Trump ain't doing the right thing, man.
Wait till Hunter's out of China, then we'll start talking bad about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better get my son up out of there. So, let me see here. All right, we're going to keep on. I wanted to look at a little Twitter here.
All right.
Ooh. There it is.
Zippity-doo-dah.
Which new Obamagate documents will be released today? Which documents do you want released? You know, Greg Rubini here. Great. There's going to be more today, this week. So if we take a look, actually, let's do this here. We'll just go ahead and look at the Q drops. This is kind of actually cool. All right, we got a new one already today. This came at 3:50 this morning, just an American flag. Just to remind you that you're, America.
American.
All right, so we're going to look right here. This is very interesting. 4256 in the series. That's 4,256 Q drops, breadcrumbs since the beginning of all this madness. So the countdown, we were at step 3. Look at this. So we got Flynn, DOJ dismissed. That was week 1. The FBI, the FISA unmasked and the declassed the public, the select dates. That was week 2. And then last week, we had the classification of the phone calls of all the people 1 through 99 that we've been hearing about from Q for about 3 years. None of us really knew what that was. I mean, we did. We knew it was classifications, but 1 through 99, well, we got all that. That was the phone calls of each person saying, I didn't know nothing. I'd never seen Trump do anything with Russia. But then for 4 years, they went around on shows and said the opposite. That was week 3. And then Q puts us, you were here, like in the mall. So that means that was yesterday, and we were at the end of week 3 sitting on Sunday. So you got to imagine that these letters here are Sunday at the end of the long week 3. And now today is right here. And we're only going down to 10. So it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 more weeks.
Boom.
7 more weeks, folks, to some kind of beginning of end or something. I don't know. Just saying. So we know this all to be true. That we went through that. And then we go to she's been on it. She's been on it for 3-4 years. So unmasking of Flynn is the greatest political scam in history. And we know that. Looks like we got a little video here.
Reporting. Yeah, she does a good job reporting.
You guys can't hear that, right?
No.
Good for you. I'm joking. Hold on. All right. Let me see here.
All righty.
Let me get rid of this guy. Let me come on over to this guy.
Hey, I don't know if you heard, but we just had a big development in the unfolding Spygate investigations. It's just been revealed that the Justice Department's investigation of the FBI's actions against the Trump campaign in 2016 has evolved from an internal review into a criminal investigation. Wow, that is big news. With this new designation, U.S. Attorney John Durham, who is the official that William Barr assigned to this case, can now issue subpoenas, impanel a grand jury, compel witnesses to give testimony, and bring federal criminal charges. And this news comes on the heels of a report which said that John Durham was, quote, very interested in questioning the former director of national intelligence, James Clapper, who was basically the nation's top spy chief, as well as former CIA director, John Brennan. So this is very significant news, as both Clapper and Brennan were 2 of the highest level intelligence officials during the Obama administration. And what's more interesting is that this came right after a trip by Durham and Barr to Rome, where they met with Italian intelligence officials as part of their investigation. And these are super significant developments, and they show that Durham and Barr's investigations have now reached the upper echelon of the intelligence agency's former leadership. And if you're looking for a roadmap for what has happened in Spygate thus far, as well as what might happen in the next few weeks, take a look at this. The Spygate infographic poster put out by the Epic Times. This thing is absolutely awesome. It took us 18 months of research to put together, and it details how federal agencies were politicized and weaponized at the very highest levels during the 2016 election. This is the real story of collusion that you won't be reading about in other media. And when we sent this to our subscribers, they were amazed, and they said that this was the most comprehensive view of Spygate that they had seen anywhere. And now you can get this poster delivered to your home absolutely free of charge. You don't even need to pay the cost of shipping. Just click on that button below and try the Epic Times newspaper for a month for just a single $1, and we'll send you this poster absolutely free of charge. That way, not only can you get real news delivered to your home every single week that doesn't push any false narratives, but you can hang this poster up, study it yourself, Share it with your friends, your family, your neighbors, and your entire community, and learn the truth about the biggest political scandal in modern American history. Just click on that button below.
Acting DNI Richard Grenell announcing on Friday that his office will strip the FBI of its duties, briefing the 2020 presidential candidates. That follows accusations of political bias in the 2016 election. Former FBI Director Jim Comey infamously briefed President-elect Donald Trump on January 6, 2017, just one day after he met with President Obama and other top officials in the Oval Office. I sat down with President Trump himself to discuss what happened in the weeks leading up to his inauguration.
It was the greatest political crime in the history of our country. If I were a Democrat instead of a Republican, I think everybody would have been in jail a long time ago, and I'm talking with 50-year sentences. It is a disgrace what's happened. This is the greatest political scam, hoax in the history of our country.
Well, it is the biggest
and people
political
should be
scandal
going
we've
to
ever
jail
seen.
for this stuff, and hopefully a lot of people are going to have to pay. No other president should have to go through. And I'll tell you, General Flynn and others are heroes because what's happened to them, they weren't after General Flynn. They wanted him to lie about me, make up a story. And with few exceptions, nobody did that. There were many people. I watched K.T. McFarland the other day. I watched where she was knock, knock, FBI, you know, the FBI, okay? This was all Obama. This was all Biden. These people were corrupt. The whole thing was corrupt, and we caught them. We caught them. And what you saw just now, I watched Biden yesterday. He could barely speak. He was on Good Morning America, right? And he said he didn't know anything about it. And now it just gets released right after he said that. It gets released that he was one of the unmaskers, meaning he knew everything about it. So he lied to your friend George Stephanopoulos. What kind of stuff?
Explain to our audience what this means, because, I mean, this is a serious thing. They are tracking phone calls. They were tracking.
So what do you think about that, Woodman? Biden goes on to a morning talk show Friday morning, and, what do you know about the unmasking? And I think his counsel, and he goes right into Flynn's, legal procedures, and then after rambling incoherently for a minute or two, he's like, my bad, I thought you were asking about his legal. And they're like, no, we're asking about, what did you know? I knew nothing. And then later that night, they released all the stuff perfectly. I mean, it shows him as a damn liar. Like, I knew nothing. Comes back, 8 hours later. Oh, actually, you were one of the people that unmasked and went and pulled that information. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like the opposite of what. So we know that they like to sit there and play the game of well, that's declassified. That's, it's like Biden on the phone call after that Ukraine prosecutor that they got fired. That he actually, I didn't want him fired. There was a general consensus from all the government. We wanted him out of there. But if we see them phone calls get released by Trump, we know. And it's funny that they know that they did that phone call. Like, they literally are on a phone now that we got the old guy out of there that was going to arrest my son, you're going to leave my son alone, and you're not going to do anything over there. Everything that we've been saying is on that phone call. He knows that he did that phone call, but he knows that nobody heard that phone call because it's Obama declassified it.
Well, here's the thing. They live a life of deny. I don't care if they got caught, like you had this picture a year and a half ago or whatever. I don't care if they get caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Deny. That's how they live their life, because if they don't do that, it's totally game over.
It's like the VA, deny, delay, and hope you go away.
Exactly true,
So that's what the government does. They lie, they deny, and they hope that you go away. And well,
just think if Hillary would have won. Oh my Lord, that's terrible.
We'd know none of this, Woodman. We would be sitting in a really, really, really dark place. We're already in a dark place, but at least we're bringing it to light. Otherwise, we'd have no chance in hell to bring it to light. So we got to thank Trump on that as well. I know there's lots of issues. We had talked about the 9/11, Patriot Act that came out of that. and that it just got signed again. I know there's lots of things I don't agree with, and I can't put everything on Trump while he's over here trying to do something. Some annual paperwork comes up, and it's like, it's really bad, though. And there's actually some Republicans that got their hands in it and helped promote it. And, but that's, you know, again, we look at it as this is something they have the right to spy on all of us now. But when you look into the clausing, it's like if you're labeled a terrorist. Well, what's the standard to be labeled a terrorist? That's what's scary about it.
It's too vague.
I mean, it's been around for 20 years at this point, since 9/11. None, you know, I haven't been affected by it, as far as I know. Is like I haven't been deemed a terrorist and arrested under this yet. I'm still here. So again, it's kind of that guisey of like they can use it on any one of us at any time. They can. We don't want it. We got to get rid of it. So I hope that's again something else. At this point, folks, I think everything since 1871 is fruit of the poisonous tree. I don't think anything's correct up in the federal the way it works. So there's lots that have to be like, you know, thrown away, ripped up, put away. Like I said, where do you start when you come in? Hell, the whole Federal Reserve thing. I mean, if Trump's doing things, shifting things around, and then next thing you know, we're not under the Federal Reserve anymore, that's a hell of a step. It's like, well, we still got this chemtrails or Patriot Act or this or that or this or this. I mean, there's so many things. I don't know where you start at. And, you know, you just can't come in like a wrecking ball on day one. Trump slam Hillary against a wall, arrest her, throw her in jail, and then move on to chemtrails and then stop the trafficking and just everything all in one day.
That'd be chaos.
Yeah. You know, you got to have some kind of yeah. And then the people you see on 9/11, they can't fend for themselves a minute. Some people were, you know, there's videos out there of like this college girl. I love to use this for an example. She's recording out of her tower, her apartment complex that day, and just happens to have the towers in the scene. And she witnesses all this stuff unfold. And she's screaming like, why isn't the TV telling me what to do? Like at her boyfriend. You know, the second one gets hit because they're really confused with the first one. Like, oh my gosh, you know, like anyone else. Like, I think a plane just accidentally hit it. How does that happen? Trying to wrap your mind around it. And then boom, another one. And then they're flipped. Why? What do we do? Why aren't they telling us what to do?
You know it. You know it.
You know, you need to know what to do. That's what we're here for, to help you figure out what you need to do for yourself. So anyway, let's take a small little break because we're planning on going for a few hours here. So I know we got about, you know, a little under 300 in the room. Stand by for this probably under 10-minute little video. That way Woodman can, you know, get his coffee, use the restroom, whatever he's got to do, let the dog out. I got to do the same. I'm hearing things. It's going on 8:30. We've just hit about an hour or just under. But we'll be back. We plan on possibly seeing a couple of the other guys join in here soon. We're going to get into some more articles, keep doing some more Twitter looks. I want to look at new Trump tweets and a few other things to show you. Get some information out. We're expecting major bombshells throughout this week. I can't say today at about noon. I don't know. I don't know the time. I'm with the progression of the last 3 weeks, I don't think we're stopping. I think we're on this downward hill. The snowball's rolling and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's getting ready to hit that cabin and just knock it off its foundation. Hopefully there's nobody sitting on the shitter.
Yeah. Things will happen, but, you know, it may not all be exposed either. So you hang on, people. Just don't get discouraged, you know.
Yeah, let me...
it's going to be, actually, we've had a couple of really big weeks in a row. Actually, if you sit down and think about what's transpired, you know, I mean, of course we pay attention, but a lot of people don't. But a lot of things have been happening. There's more coming, everybody. You know, stay patient.
Yes, sir. Buddy. Let me see if I can do this. Select folder. And if I do this, cool. I got a little, and we'll be right back. That's what I got. So, all right, Woodman, we'll see you in about, it's 8:30. Let's say, you know, we'll be back by, you know, 8:40. We'll go about 10 minutes. We'll see you guys. All right, we are back. We are back. I see Woodman's back. I think Ben's going to be joining us here in a few. This is funny. The little picture I have of you in this other little box, Woodman, still has your mask on. But if I click it, I don't think it is. Let me see. Nah, it zooms in on you. But it's saved with your mask, but it doesn't. I think you're muted, brother. I don't hear you. There you go.
Yeah,
I heard it right away.
I had this on earlier, people. A mask would not do me any good, people, with this beard. How are you going to seal your face off? Give me a break.
Yeah.
Gee whiz. Gonna have to wear a whole head thing, body mask. The bubble. We live in the bubble.
All right, let me get this ready here, just to. Looks like we lost a few. People went back to bed or something. No, I was joking.
I'll probably go to work. You never know.
Yeah, no, I get it. Get this one.
We all have a life, everybody.
Go there. There we go. All right. I have heard from Ben. I definitely know he's firing up the machine. We have not heard from Fluid. We were scheduled for 9:30, but I don't know. That guy's been sketchier than ever, folks. How about you heard from him, Woodman?
No, I haven't. No. I haven't. He's moving too, so he may be tied up in that. Who knows?
I thought he was already moved, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, I know he had to go up and get.
Yeah, I didn't know when that was happening.
New York and he had to go to South Carolina. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, South Cac.
Get all this crap. Yeah.
He's already did the move out of New York. So. Well, we got the box open. It's an open thing. He's there where the video's playing down there, so we'll keep that playing. Once I see his mug, I'll bring him in. If so, we're probably not gonna make it till 10:30. Just for the fact of, we end up going way early. But hey, who knows? We'll keep going. We're going to keep pushing forward. I wanted to get back over to Twitter here and just kind of bring this in.
All right.
So, reopen our country. Look at that. Just as we come in here. Well, didn't I get a chance? Undo tweet, redo with comment. There we go. We are with you. See that?
Yeah.
And I'll give it my own heart.
Sure, all right.
And I like that one. There we go. There we go. The weight of the world.
That is true. Yeah.
Reopen our country, and then you got people saying, that's dumb. That's a dumb thing to do, man. It was a bat, folks. We shut the world down with a bat. John Solomon, tables turned on Mueller prosecutors, 10 actions ripe for scrutiny. Just the news. We're going to look at this here. We're going to look at that. Tables turned on Mueller prosecutors, 10 actions ripe for scrutiny here, Woodman. Recent revelations of the Flynn case fit an emerging, more general pattern for questionable prosecutorial tactics. Look at this sketchy man. Look at this sketchy, confused, oath-breaking man.
Confused.
Right Robert Mueller waits to testify. All right, hold on here. I'm going to do this proper. All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour here. Tables turned on Mueller prosecutors, 10 actions ripe for scrutiny. Recent revelations from the Flynn case fit an emerging, more general pattern of questionable prosecutorial tactics. Look at this confused man right here. Robert Mueller waits to testify about the report on Russia election interference in 2016. This was updated on May 17th, 2020 at 10:29 p.m. by Lee Smith. Justice Department documents revealed in the connection with the withdrawal of charges against retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn marked the first official unraveling of one of Russia's special counsel Robert Mueller's cases. The DOJ court filings provide telling new public indications that the department's investigation searchlight has swiveled around to shine on a pattern of questionable tactics employed by prosecutors working for special counsel Robert Mueller's probe into the now debunked claims of collusion between Russia and Trump campaign to hijack the 2016 election. Now, based on the filings and conversations with senior Trump administration sources, it now appears that the U.S. Attorney John Durham's inquiry into the origins and conduct of the Russia probe is widening, and several senior U.S. officials, officials like Robert Mueller's prosecutors, remember it was like all Democratic prosecutors they picked, as well as FBI leadership may be under scrutiny. Flynn, Donald Trump's first national security advisor, pleaded guilty in December of 2017 to making false statements to the FBI. On May 7th, Barr thought to withdraw those charges. According to the government, the FBI interview of Flynn was ordered in context of an investigation that could no longer be defended as justifiably predicated. So last month, the acting director of national intelligence, Richard Grenell, declassified those documents showing that the FBI team investigating the Russia interference in 2016 elections had, according to Attorney General William Barr, set a perjury trap for Flynn. Despite a FBI 2018 order from the judge in the Flynn case, Emmert G. Sullivan, to the prosecutors to turn over all material of exculpatory evidence to the defense, including information impeaching the credibility of witnesses against him, prosecutor Brandon Van Grack never turned over any of the recently released information, showing that FBI agents investigating Flynn contacts with Russian ambassador Sergei Kislyak had recommended closing the case after turning up no derogatory information. Agents were blocked from closing the case by fired anti-Trump agent Peter Strzok and his lover, who in text messages attributed his move to intervene from the Bureau's 7th floor. Went over articles of that about 3 years ago. 7th floor, no more. Yep. A senior FBI official confessed qualms in notes recorded after a 2017 senior strategy meeting on the Flynn investigation about whether the Bureau's purpose was to discover the truth or instead entrap Flynn in a lie that would lead to his dismissal or prosecution. So the recent revelations raising the questions of prosecutorial misconduct by the FBI in the Flynn case fit an emerging, more general pattern of questionable tactics employed by the Mueller probe, including withholding relevant exculpatory evidence and misrepresenting the government's interactions with investigating targets. Here are 9 more examples, so we're just going to go over the highlights. So misrepresentation of the Papadopoulos cooperation, silence about Trump Tower meeting, exculpatory evidence coming out of that, court filings with deceptively edited emails, scope memo used to debunk Steele dossier is set to investigative perimeters. And then we got Mueller finally testimony ignores the Steele dossier in all fullness. Deceptive editing of the Dowd voicemail. Improper acquisition of transition emails. Misleading Trump's lawyers about his status. So I'll definitely leave this link down below. Again, this was just a quick little jump it out of the live stream today. So thank you for joining in here on the Patriot Hour. And we are back. All right, so we got Ben, I see, joined in. So we're going to jump down to...
What up, boys?
How we doing, Ben?
I don't know how.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Here we go. Back it out. Booyah.
There we go.
What's going
on? Good morning, y'all.
What is going on,
Ben?
fellas?
Good morning.
Oh, this is awesome.
Great morning. What are you getting up to? What have you heard so far this morning? Anything new as you're getting up, looking at your sources, or what kind of?
I know that. I know that the state of Michigan, the state I live in, it's still pretty crazy out here. We have a Ruski governor, Comrade Whitmer. So we're looking to see the grand old party of Michigan State has brought charges against our governor, and so has another individual that's been part of Michigan's legislature has brought charges against our governor as well. So hopefully this next week or so, we should be finding out. It's probably gonna get kicked up from the Superior Court, most likely to the Michigan State Supreme Court. And it's basically dealing into she's way overstepping her bounds and completely trampling on our Constitution. So at least that's an update from here in Michigan. We'll keep you guys posted. This stuff is crazy what you guys are talking about coming out, Lynn.
You're not alone as well on the states opening up. So we got a lot of states that are open back up as of last few weeks. Some never went down. We like to focus on those 8 states, I think, that really held their ground, did the right thing. Schools didn't shut down. Jobs kept going. Food kept, just everything. Restaurant, and they had very minimal numbers of sick people. We got to keep that into consideration, folks. We can't just ignore that great stuff that happened. And the news has been completely quiet on it. So other than that, we got to give other states that did go down and took steps to whatever, they have kind of opened up. Like Florida's really done just wide open. They're doing okay, and we're going to keep following along with that. And it's great that we have like Fluid Pour in Florida. We got, Ben in Michigan, me and Woodman here in Indiana. We get a little bit variety. And then with you guys calling in or just being in the chat, it really gives us a perspective of what's going on. And I think Trump did do the right thing by staying out of it. I think they were trying to push him into magically shutting it down so then they could blame him for that. We're in a martial law. He didn't. He said it was really important to let the states do their own thing. That's like almost his exact words on that. So,
well, I think this is something that even ties into what you guys were just going over before I hopped on. As I was watching a little bit as I was coming in, about how all these things are coming up to light regarding, Flynn and how it was handled. Right now it's really interesting. Mike and I were talking in Garage Talk last night. Just what's happening is so incredibly outside the norm. And I say the norm, but it's like in my lifetime, I've never seen any governors do any of this to any of these states ever in my entire life since I've been on God's created earth, And here I am seeing in my state, Michigan. Now I will give this caveat. Not everybody in Michigan is actually doing exactly what they've been told to do. This whole entire time, you've been with me.
Yes, if you don't live there, you would think this is like they're Nazi
everywhere.
Germany there right
seeds,
now. No,
I've bought ammunition. I've planted my garden.
We know this is why the New World Order thing wouldn't work with just a federal government, like the president being on TV saying, "We're going to do this and you're going to do that."
Here it comes.
Because people wouldn't. It wouldn't work. The real way this works is by getting it down to the state and then seeing how many counties and actual mayors and cities will do it. Where, like we said, Ben, the area there, there's a general consensus. That's put out. But it comes down to the actual store owner and how much they want to play into it. And if they're not going to play into it, then you're coming there and you might not have to wear the mask. You might still be able to buy seeds like to plant your tomatoes because this guy ain't playing into it. And you're not playing into it because you're there to buy them. But if it was taped off and they actually didn't have the seeds on the shelf, you couldn't get them. You're not playing into it, but they are, and you can't get them. So there's all these different kind of interactions you're having. So in your area, what have you seen? And it's actually been to the plus, like the good side, no different than,
I live in a smaller community, and I have seen obviously all of our dine-in restaurants have been closed since the store owners chose to do thing. They've had all the takeout. I mean, basically, what I've seen that has been affected most, besides the small businesses and people literally losing their jobs due to this pandemic, is all the churches, for the most part, have closed their doors, and they did it within a matter of a couple of weeks of sniffles. Oh, we got to shut it down. That happened in my small community. That happened in large cities. That happened
Across
all
the
over.
state,
Now,
most likely, you know, or the
across
country,
the state, across
yeah.
the country. I
Now,
have
what about
noticed
your alcohol? And I know you guys have legalization and even medical
they have
marijuana.
medical marijuana dispensaries here. Now, of course, this is where it gets stupidly crazy. You can't buy seeds according to her edict, but you can.
This is a general
go buy
what do they
medical.
call it? Was it a law or a proclamation or a act?
Well, the first 30 or the first one that came down was a law that we passed in 1945 dealing with, not being taking our guns during a time of general
Like what's
upheaval
happening right
or general emergencies. Yes. Now, she went above and beyond that like a good Ruski would do.
She started reading between the lines, folks. There was stuff not written there, so she had to put something.
So she made
I started
governor's proclamation. Now, the proclamation was basically her opening up her Ruski mouth, and then comrade lingo comes out. So
it just drops out, Ben.
It drops out, kind of dribbles out. Okay, so
she should use
the
toilet
original
paper.
law.
Yeah.
So this is what's crazy. Most Michiganders are figuring this out, but the original law, when she actually was able to shut the public schools down because of public safety. Now, that carries misdemeanors from the original law that she held off of that we voted for in 1945. Now, when she started getting real Ruski with it and getting real crazy and saying you can't buy seeds, only one person in a vehicle at a time, if it's two or more, you can get, those are called proclamations, and those carried a civil fine of up to $1,000. And we talked to you guys, and you guys are really know that a civil fine is less than spitting on the concrete. It's way less than a misdemeanor, and nobody to date has paid a civil fine in this instance for this particular lockdown here in Michigan. Now, they've issued hundreds and thousands of tickets for civil fines, but nobody's paid it yet.
So what about, we know that the one barber, I don't know if he got arrested or whatever, the barber one that we showed live, and it was like I can't remember, Oscowo or something.
Or something like that.
A couple hours from us, not too far.
Yeah.
I think he got arrested or shut down, but then we followed up on that and we saw that he got his permit pulled. So to cut hair in most states, I would say you have
in
to
all
have,
states.
It's a
you
health
have to have
matter.
a permit issued to you by Secretary of your state,
because you're dealing
and that's
with
called
hair
your. Well, even if you're a lawnmower service, you have to have a doing business as license from your local state secretary, which is followed through by your governor and the senator. What people are realizing is it's the old adage of, why do we have licenses to drive our cars? The Constitution says we're free to travel. They didn't have licenses for horses in the old Western days. Why do we have them now?
These are all the laws that are above our not laws. I can't use that word. This is all the
policies, procedures
that was put over. Folks, when we talk about, and it gets muffling and we don't know, we have to be logical. I mean, Ben, this is another little garage discussion here. It was the history books have been obscured. We don't really know what's what. There's several different stories, what the schools teach, what you can find, and then there's things on the internet, and then what people sometimes call conspiracies, which are actually the very opposite of everything you've ever learned. So sometimes it falls in the middle, or it is that extreme odd story that is suppressed, that is the opposite of what you've always heard, kind of like the Russia conspiracy. They were trying to make that history, folks, but the truth was the very opposite. It was them that did that. So we don't know, and this was live time, and we're having a hard time figuring out what's going on in our very world right now, but yet we all even still always debate history. So we don't know. But we do know if you're going along with something, you probably wouldn't be harassed, killed, and taken down because you're driving the ship or something. You don't, unless, there's amongst the evil, you never know. But sometimes maybe you have people that are going along with it at first, or the appearance of going along with something, and then they flip or turn or don't want it no more. They have a change of heart. Who knows? Conscious, it gets to them. So we can only report on what we're seeing. But yeah, we're all trying to open our eyes. And
well, history's written by the winners, you know.
Yeah, and I put that out. Yeah, history's written. We've said that a million times. His story, or sometimes it's agreed upon lie. We were talking about, right?
I was just going to say that's a quote from Napoleon. Was asked his, Napoleon, the man who was about as tall as your big toe, and who conquered most of the European continent. You know that guy. Yeah, who took over and became himself Pope, right? real big little toe complex, right? He was asked about history, and that's what Mike just said. He quoted him very eloquently, and Napoleon so boldly said, "History is agreed upon lie."
Sometimes it's the agreed upon lie, and then the people like us right now, because we're going against the agreed upon lie, we are called dissenters of that, or
You're right.
Lots of words.
The lie keeps the whole society centered around the lie. That's what makes us cohesion, the glue. And so if you don't believe that and you're outside, it's called decentering. You're
decentering,
or you're
from
on the
the
fray
lie
of society. And so from the very get-go, we know the CIA dubbed conspiracy theorist as a negative a word because of the assassination of JFK. Like,
I saw this funny thing.
Got boomers using it now.
Yeah. Somebody said the CIA invented the word conspiracy to do this, and then somebody wrote back like, incorrect. The word has been around since way before the CIA. It's been there.
Oh yeah.
Brought it back into circulation to give it good meaning of this is what it, because actually if we look up that word conspiracy and the actual meaning, it's exactly what it means, but it's
folks, we say the same thing when we talk about a small child growing inside of a woman's womb. We use Latin. We call it a fetus. Why do we speak Latin when we describe that? Why would we just say, oh, it's they got a bun in the oven, or you got a small child growing inside of you? No, they call it a kid, like what goats have. They don't call it a child, and they call it a fetus. Because people don't know. This is what we're talking about, you guys.
Vote them in again. Got some comments coming in. Hit the like. Yes. Patriot Fest, August 14th, 15th. Legion Post 143, Bristol, Indiana. Patriot Fest. Patriots with an S. Patriots Fest 2020.
We'll be there.
Then you just
We'll
put the 2020 at 30330 Joe. Get a hold of me. .com. That's like, whoa, that's a texting. You know what I mean? Ready for the storm. It's been raining here for about 3 days, guys, or something. I'm ready for a little more sunshine. I got to get out and mow, things like that, of that sort.
Oh, man.
We'll see.
No, it is interesting. I can say that a lot of our viewers here, those of you who are watching right now, definitely understand that you know where the authority lies. And it's almost like somebody who's a good orator or a good speaker, they'll understand how to verbally take the power away from their enemy. And that's exactly what's happening right now, is you're giving up your authority to the news, to people who wear white coats, to your local preachers, your local doctors, your local nurses, and you're giving up your authority because you're complacent. And frankly, it's because you're lazy. And so we hear like, dude, we're trying to fight for it, because if we don't, I mean, this side of crazy, I hear you, a well-regulated militia. I mean, this is the Second Amendment. Like, why do they even have that?
What's that for?
You don't even need a gun.
Yeah, what's that for? Right, yeah.
Again, I like to always explain, and I guess we're starting to get into it a little bit, talking about, people getting killed. So we know for a fact Abe Lincoln was killed. We know JFK was killed. There was something that they had in common, folks, and that was possibly getting away from the Fed. Why do we know that? Regardless of all the wordage and what history says, we know that there was some money being printed under Lincoln, which were called greenbacks, and he was gonna. Well, we weren't really on a Federal Reserve system then, were we? What was the point? What were we doing at that exact time?
So Abraham Lincoln was allowing the Federal Reserve to print Federal Reserve notes.
Weren't we at
he
a
was
broke
also
period?
printing.
Or were we really broke
Well,
coming into 18?
we were because of we just spent a whole crap load of money on the Louisiana
That's what it was.
Purchase, and so did
Yeah.
the South. That's how we got America, and that's how the whole Civil War started, because the states wanted a piece of the territories, right? Yeah. Well, let's go on. So, yes, when you're talking about this kind of stuff, what was it? This is very soon after. So, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. When you talk about the greenbacks, he started that, and then there was the Federal Reserve notes. There was also Treasury notes along with greenbacks. They were Treasury silver certificates.
Yes.
And so there was about 6 different forms of currency in floating in America at that time. And you had a choice to use Federal Reserve notes. And by the way, every single form of currency was redeemable for precious metals, mostly silver. Because gold, they didn't really give you much gold at the time. You could return it for gold, but silver was more of a commodity.
Yeah, that's all money was back then. Was to you know, when you got it was just a piece of paper telling you that you could redeem that for gold or silver at any time. And that's what, you know, that was literally, you know, we don't have that no more.
Then you talk about JFK. JFK actually was going to be bringing back Treasury notes, $5 bills with Abraham Lincoln's face on there in commemoration, you know, to give him a little tip of the hat of Abe Lincoln. And what he was trying to do was he was trying to bankrupt New York Federal Reserve Bank itself by flooding the American market with Treasury notes.
Bringing back these ones that were already created, sitting
They were already printed. They're sitting in there. Yep.
From Lincoln, right? Those are the ones from Lincoln, the greenbacks that he was going to bring back out.
Now with Trump, this is a little bit different. He's doing something that's a little bit different than what these 2 examples that we just gave you did. They were trying to war head on with the Federal Reserve. Trump just did this.
And then we
brought the Federal Reserve under American sovereign law.
Yes, brought it in, some kind of merging, highly revamped, and now he sits at the head, possibly. The president does, which is, in a way, it's supposed to be, you know, would we want that if it was past presidents? No, we think this one's different. And we hope it goes forward being different. It might even be after some more action happens that there's things that are kind of like dissolved or processes are put back into the normal. Well, here's the whole problem I have with this, because what I want to back up on was because you went from Lincoln to JFK about the monies, and that was one thing, but I was also wanting to talk about how our Constitution that we all like to talk about, how that actually went offline, Ben, because we can't skip over that, because that's why we're in a huge issue. Remember, I talk about that being like fruit of the poisonous tree. For me, it's hard to. It's why it's hard to tic-tac little things that Trump's doing or not done yet. Like, there's a lot of people upset right now with the continuation of the 9/11 Act. Me and Woodman were talking about that earlier.
The Patriot Act, yep.
Yeah, it just got a little worse. And there's certain people that we've been
Justice
rallying
Kavanaugh
for.
co-wrote that. So, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, there you go. I mean, we know that he was part of that back then. So are these things that Trump's not even paying attention to? And even though that's something that came in, and there are certain Republicans that we actually think we're doing great things for the Russiagate and Obamagate, but yet all of a sudden they're over here at the same time championing this. And it's like they came out and, you know, it's always like, now they can spy on anyone's history of your web browser without warrant. And it's like, oh my God, all Americans. But it's like, when were they already doing that? Not that I'm cool with it. Like, yeah, don't worry, they're already doing that. No, it's like, if you're deemed a terrorist, I think. But it's like, that is sketchy. We've already talked about that. We're under Bush talking about this. Is like, what's a terrorist? They don't label. It's like up to some man in his eyes, like what they deem. I can deem some of these traitors in our own country a terrorist, but maybe they don't deem themselves a terrorist. Maybe they deem me one. So it's like, who decides who's a terrorist? And
right.
They didn't really.
It's too vague.
Yeah, it's vague. So
too vague, man.
I don't know. But is Trump not gotten to that yet? It's like, well, somebody else can be bitching about chemtrails or the human trafficking that's not been dealt with, but yet he's gotten a little bit of paperwork in, and there's steps being taken to take down people, and maybe once you take down people, lots of these things go away naturally. That's what I always said. You don't normally need to hit the actual thing that's going on. Sometimes you can take away the leaders, and then these things dissolve. I don't know. We still got to wait.
Hey, you can always create an environment that doesn't allow for human trafficking and deception. And if the environment
well, didn't all that
is
stuff
created,
creep in? Didn't it all creep in? Did it all?
did.
You know, nothing came in. We talk about the foods being poisoned, and if we know about the organics coming in, and we've already seen it's like, I couldn't find non-fluoride toothpaste for years. You can only go to one store. It was like one spot on the bottom shelf with dust on it, and pushed all the way back, and they had them there. It was an option. It was your free will, but man, you had to look for it. And it was really obscure. Now I'm seeing half the rack. So this stuff's coming back in without a lot of commercials, without a lot of promotion. It's like possibly some organic things are creeping back in, just like the poison creeped in, without a lot of food cutting ribbon ceremonies going on. It's just the opposite push of what it was. And that might be for the smaller kids or the next generation of, that they just, it's a natural thing, just like we were naturally brought down into this crazy system. I don't think it's never really a punch in the face until you're awake. You never really see the ribbon cutting ceremonies like we talk about. The RFID chip that's to come forever. It's not here. I don't got no chip, but yet we carry around phones and things that do just everything that they talked about. Your phone can open up the chips now at the stores for the doors to open. You can be paying by swiping your magic phone, and you pay for gas and food, and you don't even have to. You're doing it willingly. The whole time clutching onto your phone. But yet, you're not going to take no chip. Hey, I'm
not
guilty
gonna
too.
take
I'm
the
not,
mark of the beast. That's what are you talking about? What?
Oh, I see your third eye there, Ben.
I see your third eye is active. Yeah, because the internal one's all calcified from pornography and fluoride. Yeah,
What is,
that's
your other
interesting
one's
you said
ruined,
that.
sir. We'll just give you this one. Here.
Well, this is. I know there's something called generational curses. And now you don't have to be a spiritual person. You don't have to be a believer or not, but I am. And so I believe that there's things that a father can hand down to a son, and so on and so on and so on and so on. I think a lot of what we see in the deep state, a lot of their rituals and things like that, allegedly, my opinion, carries evil stuff with it. And, since we're all men here, I'm going to speak to the fathers right now. It's up to you to literally break those family curses. Because I tell you, man, you talk about like the fluoride. Like my boys, will always brush your teeth with non-fluoridated toothpaste because they were raised that way. To them, they don't know any difference. Like, we would never do fluoride. That's crazy. I don't want to put something that's a part of an aluminum manufacturing process in my teeth because it makes them whiter. I'll just brush more. It's like, to them, it's just natural. But if I hadn't have broken that cycle, and like Mike was talking about, there's things, that he wanted to do with his children, Woodman, it seems he wanted to do with his boys and things like this. And you can understand that what we've learned from, we're trying to pass on to our children. And this is a huge part of with this channel and what they're doing, because, this is what we're trying to show you guys. Like the lies, so you don't tell your children, be afraid, wear a mask, and you're going to die if, this is, you can't be, we want to raise strong men and strong women, and strong women don't want no weak-wristed man,
You know it.
No, you want
only
two strong wrists.
Yeah.
And some people will say, when you get into that with them, like, well, you can't get away from fluoride. I live in the city in my water, because when you take, it's highly absorbed, folks, through your skin, through your mouth. We know that, putting things in your mouth absorbed.
Sublingual, man. Yeah, that's
same
straight.
with water on the top of your head. It's like, yeah, you're not taking a lot in, but water absorbs, your skin takes some in, and there's another way. But if you back off and you're not putting actual fluoride in your mouth and you're still stuck, maybe buy water that doesn't have it in there or some kind of filtration to filter your water.
Get a filter system.
Now you've done that,
Yeah.
but now when you take a shower, you're still getting it that way. Well, you've cut out 2 other ways of getting it, so you're getting a lot less. So don't underestimate. And if you, whenever you can, try. You move or you get out to where you get your own well and things like that. Like I have, we have our own well. I think Ben does as well. So that's ways to where you're now. If you get off fluoride in your mouth, you're really taking yourself out of the mix. So
it's interesting. It's everything from we've heard individuals who were drinking alcohol for 30 years, 30 beers a day, and then they stop doing that and they suddenly become more clear. They get up earlier in the morning, they have more energy, and they're like, wow, I'm feeling like I'm 20 years younger. It's like, yeah, you're cutting out all those toxins in your body. And this is interesting. This time when we've been getting really inundated with lies and a push to be afraid you could die, a lot of individuals are really looking at microbiology now. They're looking at epidemiology now. A lot of people are getting really interested in like genetics and how stuff happens and what is communicable diseases and all these things we heard. It's like, I bet you people are realizing that there's something called germ theory, just like the theory of gravity. Gravity's not a law, right? In 2020, it's still a theory. So is germ theory. It's not. They haven't proven it. You guys, we've been dealing with germs for what they tell us, bacteria, for over thousands of years, and in 2020, we still have a theory on how they work. Like, well, Mr. Cavendish, you're not a scientist. You're not a microbiologist. And I'm like, whoa. I'm smart enough to understand that when they put out their paperwork and they see it, it's like, so this has been a really interesting time. And the conversations offline with Woodman and Mike and all the guys of the team it's like, I wish you guys could hear half the stuff we say offline because it would be wig split and mind blowing, but we can't say it here on YouTube because then the channel goes away. There's just certain stuff we just can't say on here because it's just the way it is.
Well, I'm glad people getting, woke up and not being spoon fed anymore.
Look at these guys waking up like, well, yeah.
Love it. And there was a Paradiso man out there, another one out there.
Mm-hmm. Another one. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is beautiful. Now, was this here recent, Mr. Mike?
I don't know where I just saw this.
Well, that's Trump, isn't it, going down the road? Is that what they're for? I'm sure it is.
Where was that? Huh. I guess I just shut right here.
Pretty awesome, wherever that was. Lots of Patriots getting together.
Americans.
But yeah, so we were looking at that, Ben. What were you thinking too? We were like, we are here at the end of Sunday yesterday. That was.
I like how you said it kind of like when you go to the mall and it's a kiosk. You are here. I just did a bunch of traveling and came across. I was going through Ohio.
You are here.
And every time you are here on the toll road. So I'm thinking this is a 10-week breakdown. This is approximately 2.5 months worth of time, and there's a timeline. We've started. It tells us where we are at. So this is literally the first time that there has been a definitive timeline that Q has dropped that we can follow literally for the last 3 weeks. This has never happened before. And say, oh, well, he's given dates.
Yeah, and we could probably go in and maybe with past posts start filling in what week 4 is going to bring 5, 6, 7, 8,
probably
9, 10.
So.
Because we've had that class 1 through 99 for, I don't know, 3 years. We've been seeing it.
It was almost the very beginning, right?
Mm-hmm. So charcoal toothpaste. That's what I use, their face.
That's funny. I know my boys are like, I go, and it's all black.
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful though, man. I mean,
yeah, it's great stuff. I don't know. Let me see how long we've been going here. I just can't. All right, we're an hour and 43. I guess we'll go for another 20 minutes or so. That'll put us at the 2 hours. I got a couple good recordings here. I'm going to shut this one down right here. Stop it. No, I just got our last little bit, what we talked about for the last 20 minutes, which was great. And then I got that one, me and you did, Woodman, of the Flynn story. I'll be putting those back out as normal videos today.
Nice.
Tried that. A couple of clippers. I want to look at a few more little breaking headlines here, guys, just to see what's going on. I expect some things today with that week 4 sitting there blank on the Q ski on keyboard. So did you see that? Could be unlawful. Pelosi says Congress to investigate Trump's firing of Obama holdover State Department IG Steve Linick. We're not going to watch the video or nothing, but it's funny. They said this comes, and I brought it up to, I was talking to Woodman before I even clicked on it to see. I was like, well, hell, man, Bill Clinton did it back in, to Sessions in the 90s. Jeff Sessions was the head of the FBI. There was an investigation going on around some people around Obama or Bill Clinton. And as he came in, he fired the head of the FBI, put his own person in. Nobody said nothing. So she says that this could be da-da-da. And then they kind of go on to say this is, where's the outrage when Barack Obama fired all the George Bush holdovers? And this Steve Litnick guy was the guy that actually, tried, I think he was one of the people that whistleblowed or did something to start that whole thing with Trump. We read it, but where's the fourth? He's the fourth IG to be removed in 6 weeks. These people are put in these positions because of Watergate back in the day. But yet where was the, this same position person for the State Department when Hillary was in? Where in the hell was that guy on the watch? We didn't see, who was the guy on the watch back then.
They say Watergate, but most of us didn't really ever go into Watergate and research it. If you do, you'll realize that was just child's play compared to what they're doing now.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And like they said, Nixon had that in the bag. Why did they even send those people in there to do that? Well, they wanted insurance, just in case. And
they were greedy.
Oh man.
So I heard a really cool quote yesterday from a video. It's really good. Check it out. Headlines giveth, fine print taketh away.
Headlines giveth, fine print takes it away. And then if you read between the lines and you realize there's nothing there, and then you want to start adding stuff, it gets a little more.
You know their game.
Oh, give me something different here. A little big league chew. A little something to chew. 70% of Wuhan virus death in Pensy come from nursing home.
I thought they don't ever leave their nursing home. I thought they're pretty much in quarantine all day, right? Isn't that what they do at nursing homes? You just stay in there. They don't really go out. They may have some yard time. Then they go back to their little room.
A little bit of yard time. Early last week, the Pensy Secretary of Health revealed that her 95-year-old mother was moved from a nursing home facility into a hotel. This came at the time when the state government was ordering these facilities to accept patients who tested positive with the Wuhan. This policy issued on March 18th specified that retirement homes must continue to accept new admissions and receive admissions for current residents who have been discharged from hospitals who are stable. So, we know the rest of this kind of a story here, but still it's, it's wild. Yeah, it's wild. Germany to criminalize burning European flag. What else? Colorado changes in the Wuhan virus death count, claims fewer people have died than previously reported. So Colorado changes its 50 minutes ago, you guys. What hold on here. Let me hit record one more time. So, breaking. Colorado changes its Wuhan virus death count, claims fewer people have died than previously reported. According to a Fox News report, Colorado has changed the way it counts its Wuhan virus death that lowered the statewide figure from more than 1,000 to 878. May 15th, the change came following the Colorado's Department of Public Health admission that the Wuhan virus death toll was counting individuals who tested for Wuhan but died for other causes. I thought we went over this.
This has been happening for a while, and how come they're saying the Wuhan virus and not like the Corona or COVID-19? This is interesting. How come China only had reported 3,000 deaths and that's it, and they're all said and done, everybody's good, it's all over, they're moving on, and yet we have 10,000 in New York?
But we are going to find out that these states that already had, like we said, Cali has 740 deaths a day. The COVID added 3 a day to that, possibly. Come to find out, that's probably a lie. If you take that state into consideration and you go across all states that we talked about doing this, we're going to get a lot less numbers. We cannot rely on these liars, I guess.
California has the economy of Canada, people. North Dakota does not. So this is why they're going to prop up. That's why, come on, you guys. We all know this is why most presidents, when they run for presidency, they're only going to go to the big states, right? Because it's not about the public vote; it's about the electoral vote.
You got to play that game.
You don't go to a state that only has 2 electoral votes, or 4, right? Alaska. You can go to New York. You can go to Illinois.
You can go to New York.
You can go to Chirac. You can go to California. You're talking. You're going to go to these places, and you're not going to go to the other places. Why? Well, it's the biggest vote. You're going for the vote. I'm already starting to see, paid for by the CPAC for Biden. I'm Joe Biden. I approve this message. I'm seeing this all over now.
Look right above the chat box. Joe Rogan considering moving to Texas if California continues coronavirus restrictions and death. He wants to be able to move freely. Pro-Second Amendment organizations release attack ad against anti-gun sheriff. Michigan Democrats turn on Gretchen Whitmer for putting COVID patients in nursing home. Arizona Democrat Senate candidate founded company founded by Chinese tech giant. Jon Stewart once said it was a Senate rite of passage for Joe Biden to fill up your immediate family. To fill a rite of passage, a Senate rite of passage. That
feel up your
hilarious.
Wife and daughter, good sir, as I breathe heavy.
Oh man, a rite of passage, my ass. That's sick.
12 hours ago, dude. Check this out. Trump ally Benjamin Netanyahu announces he will step down as Israel's prime minister next year. So what, in 2021? That's going to be interesting.
Yep.
Should see who else, what other prime minister they have come up on there.
Shameful MSM drags victim who told her about truth about Biden's sexual assault through the mud. Of course they did.
Muddy.
Yep. Democrats shut down GOP amendment to block stimulus payments to illegal immigrant.
Oh man, look at this one. Religious leaders and gun controllers team up to destroy the Second Amendment.
Uh-oh. California town declares itself a sanctuary city for business to operate during quarantine.
Ooh, I like that one. I like those sanctuary cities. Those are real nice.
This is clever. This is very clever.
I like this.
Wow, that's a big ad.
I love it.
Atwater.
All right.
So, declared itself to be sanctuary city, where businesses can operate during the quarantine without being hassled or shut down by the government officials. The Atwater City Council approved a resolution on Friday afternoon that declares the city a sanctuary city for business. The resolution states that it affirms the city's commitment to fundamental constitutional rights. It also applies to churches and other nonprofit orgies, as Atwater is now open for business. So there you go.
Amen. Come on, this is what we need. I like these sanctuary cities. See, these I can get behind these ones.
I get behind
kind of sanctuary.
This, So Gavin Newsom made the announcement last week that the reopening would begin slowly, with only some businesses being allowed to reopen their door. The ones that he decided and that he had political interest in and financial gain with and
God complex.
Offering.
Yeah.
That's my coffers.
That's my business that will reopen. The only businesses reopen are my restaurants and my business. That would be not very good for the people of Cali. So, It's wild, folks. It's a real wild ride.
Glad I don't live there, that's for sure. Man.
All right, well, it's that time. I think we just actually over 2 hours. So,
here we go.
Where are you
All
from?
right.
Where do you lay your head?
Where you lay your hat in your home.
Where you
Tell
coming
us all
from,
about
folks?
it.
I know you guys are out there. We got a couple hundred of y'all in the room this morning.
Yeah.
By the way, thank you to all of our mods holding it down. Doing a great job. Thank you so much out there. It's great.
Well, they're the best on the internet.
Oh, yeah. Upstate New York.
They're the best around. Belfast.
Darren Carson
Belfast.
coming from Belfast. What up there? Another cool mod.
Coronafornia.
South
Coronafornia,
Kakalaki's face.
All right.
Dollywood. Give me Dollywood. Give me Taxachusetts. Give me Texas. I want some Texas and some Taxachusetts. And a little bit of that, Taxassippi. Hello, Woodman. Hello, Ben. Hello, Michael. Hello, darling. Hello, friend.
Hello, my old friend.
Don't we meet again?
Long Island, New York.
Kentucky. Bong Island, New York. Bong Island, New York's diesel.
John Hook. My uncle had to go in the hospital for heart failure. They got him listed as corona till the test came back. Elkhart General.
Elkhart Jenny. Wow, John Hook.
Skill guy number one. North Ireland. Keep fighting that good fight against some crazy Brits. Elkhart. What up?
Glory do right.
I hope that link went through. Florida do you right. Washington State. Deep State Resort to Carrier Pigeon. Here in Wyoming.
Oh, nice. We love you guys out there. We were just talking about you guys in Wyoming.
Morning in Wyoming.
Wonderful.
Caddos, Ohio.
These Ohio. Oh yeah, this
Henry County, Indiana.
Nice.
Kentucky.
Oh man, you guys are awesome. There's so many of you guys coming from all over. Really, it's so amazing here. Some of you guys are coming from the West Coast, where it's like 6:30 there. James Boyd's like it's 6:30 here. Yep. We try to get the stuff out to you guys all the time, different hours. Mike went really early this morning to get help some of our guys over across the pond. They're getting some weird hours, so. Anybody from France? John Hook says.
Anybody
I'm
from
sure, brother. We got
France?
all kinds of people coming from all over.
Oh, Arizona.
What's up? Oh yeah, we know you about Ohio.
I guess there's kind of a slower morning there for the old chatters. We don't have too many in the room, but
Monday too. Monday morning.
It's always nice to hop in here and talk
Washington
to you boys.
State in the house.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I bet nobody got
Susie
alerts.
Q, yes. Have a wonderful day, all Patriots. Yeah, we love you guys, man. We don't care if there's just one person in the room or a million in the room.
I felt great when we got on. It was only 43. I was like, man, this is gonna be kind of cool. I like the smaller.
You know what?
Setups.
You're gonna have a lot. I enjoy quality over quantity.
It's easier to, it's like one-on-one, when you guys were. So what a great morning, though. I'm gonna say we'll probably wrap this one up. I think we're just at the 2-hour mark. I got like 3 little clippets to put out here throughout the day. We are at the 1 hour and 58-minute mark. So. Perfect, right. You guys. Perfect. Glad you can join in. Maybe we'll do something later on this evening. I'm going to spend the day with my kids before they head back to their mothers for the week. So I'm going to enjoy my day. I know it's still kind of rainy, but we got some indoor activity. And I plan on doing another show this evening. Look out for some of these other videos to drop that we just took care of while we did this. To get those tidbits of information back out that were really good points, folks. We appreciate Woodman and Ben's expertise in the field. They do all the research. They've been doing it. I've witnessed it. I've been part of it. We work together. And again, never take what we say here to be 100% word, fact, truth. Look at, everything we say. Look at the research. Do your own digging. watch everyone you want. Look at everything you can. Look at all the journalists. Watch CNN, Fox, MSNBC. Don't believe it. Don't believe nothing until you can verify it. We always promote that. We don't tell you, don't look at nothing. Only watch us. Come here. We'll tell you all about it. We'll break it down. We'll tell you what it is.
Yeah.
That'd be very skeptical. I would advise you to cut me off.
We are here to help, though. We are really here to help. Truly.
That's it.
Unlike the mainstream media, we are actually here to truly help.
Helping you helps me in my life. So I want everyone to be on the same playing field. I think we could all band around freedom and liberty. I hope we could all get together in August, as many of you as possible. It's going to be a great time. No agendas again, just a live show, music with JT Wild, dancing Woodman, hiding things in his beard, things like that.
It's gonna be
great.
We're selling off parts of Woodman's beard at this event. It's going to be some take a little bit of it back with you.
Beard hair.
Yeah. Bury that damn thing.
Yeah.
Bury that.
Well, I got beard hairs. I got beard hairs from 2020, man. Check it out. The first batch got rid of.
First batch.
Yeah.
That's funny. High quality beard for sale.
Yeah, really.
A little bit of beard auction. A little beard auction.
Made in America.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Yes, we are all proudly made here in America. We are native to this North American continent. This is wonderful.
All right, fellas. We'll do it again later. Tomorrow for sure, our morning show. If we go live again later this evening, I'll see who's available. We don't. We never know, folks. We don't try to have too much agenda or plan. We all have lives, so we just do what we can when we can. But hey, I think we do pretty good. I think you guys all do as well. So, fellas, it has been a pleasure today. It's awesome. We got some information out.
God bless, fellow brothers in arms.
You guys have a great day.
Full armor of God, everybody. Do not forget, full armor of God. We need that protection so we can fight.
Yes.
Airborne.
Amen.
Amen.
God bless you guys.
Have a great day. Oh, that was great. Love when the fellas make it on here. We do the oath of 3 today. It was. What a great time. We plan on going about 9:30, but we made it to 9:45. No complaints here. Thank you guys for joining in, and we'll see you back here. I plan on putting out several videos throughout the day, and I'm gonna have a good day with family, and I hope you do as well. But I'll see you back here. I'm gonna probably try to go live this early evening, nothing too late. But other than that, look for several videos. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you always, do your research, come to your own conclusions based off all of that. I'm not going to tell you who to watch, who not to watch, who's no good for you. I want you to make that determination, and I want you to, come to those conclusions. No agendas. Get to the truth. Spread that truth. I've told you guys you don't need my permission. You can share any one of these videos across all of your social media platforms. Look for the shirts to come this week. The minute the website is up and ready, you will be notified. I will be here screaming it. All right, you guys have a great day. God bless.